Ooh, got some things going on up in the laboratory today. I think you're gonna like this one a lot. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. So I want to welcome you back to my vegan kitchen. I know it's been a little while. Today I got a fantastic recipe for you and no animals were harmed. We're gonna make a vegan ham. Yeah, that's right, a vegan ham. And it tastes awesome. So I'm gonna get you down to the counter. You know how this works. And I'm gonna put it together and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, here we are. We're in the laboratory. This is where it all happens. Today, like I said, we're gonna put together a vegan ham that tastes awesome. We're gonna start by mixing our dry ingredients first. So the first thing we're gonna add, you're gonna want a big bowl. Okay, you're gonna want a big bowl to mix this up in. We're gonna wanna add 1 cup of Vital Wheat Gluten. So we're just gonna go ahead and get crazy and dump it in there. Knock it out because we don't want to waste any. Next, for a nice creamy taste, we're gonna add nutritional yeast flake, 1/4 cup. Now I got my spices already done out here. So I got 1 teaspoon of onion powder and I got 1 teaspoon of paprika. Now you can use regular paprika or a sweet paprika. Then I have 1 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt, or you can substitute sea salt for it. And then over here I got granulated garlic powder, 1 teaspoon. Then right here I've got 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. Then this color, this little spot over here, is a pinch of cloves. And then black pepper to your taste. Now this is a ground black pepper. I use 1/8 of a teaspoon. So go ahead and you're just gonna wanna go ahead and just dump them all in there. That's what's gonna make all the flavor inside that ham. So once you have all your spices put in there, all your dry ingredients, go ahead and take yourself a spoon and just kind of mix them around. That way it's all incorporated. I've been excited to bring this recipe to you for quite a while. Once you have it all mixed around, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put our wet ingredients together. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. Okay, in our laboratory, we're about to mix our wet ingredients together. You can use a blender or you can use, I'm gonna use a Ninja. Let's see if all this will fit in there. So what I like to do, I like to add tofu into my wet ingredients. I just like the texture of it. I even add it into my smoothies in the morning. So I'm gonna put about a cup of tofu in my little Ninja. And then I'm gonna put a 1/2 cup of beet juice. That way I can give it a red color inside. Not only that, beet juice is super healthy for you. You don't want to miss the opportunity to add that in. Of course, if you don't like beets, go ahead and choose to omit. Next, I'm going to use pineapple juice. And I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of pineapple juice. I'm just pouring it all in there. Now next, I'm going to use a soy milk or an almond milk for this recipe. I'm choosing to use soy. Woohoo, look at that color. That looks nice. Okay, next we're going to want to add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. There's 1. Then we're going to want to add 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard. Now, I don't get too crazy, I just Now we're going to use 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil or an oil of your choice. So we got 1, 2, and almost 3. Let's give it a nice moist consistency. And then I like to use a teaspoon of better than bouillon vegetable broth. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dip out 1 teaspoon and just glob it in there. Don't be afraid. This is a laboratory. Now any of these ingredients, if you want to leave them out, that's totally up to you. Your kitchen is your laboratory. You can make it however you want to make it, or you can make it exactly the same. Now I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke. It's going to give our ham a smoky flavor. Alright, I'm going to put the top on this and I'm going to blend it all up. Pull my little Ninja out over here. Go ahead and put it in. I know you're going to hate this part because you got to hear it. Looks like a strawberry milkshake. So now we're going to take our dry ingredients and this is where we get crazy. We're going to dump our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients. Man, who knows what's going to happen at this point. Alright, here we go. Oh, don't that look nice? Oh, and that smells good. Now we're going to take our spoon, you know, our trusty little spoon. We're just going to start mixing it up. Now mix it up really good, and as you're mixing it, it'll start to pull together. And if you find that your mixture is still too wet, go ahead and add a little bit more wheat gluten. It's not going to hurt anything. Now you can see my mixture is a little bit wet, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more wheat gluten. This is the laboratory. This is where we figure it all out. And just stick your hands in there, start mixing it all around. It's again getting it all nice and incorporated. Now you get some finger exercise. Now we're starting to get there. Okay, as you're kneading it around here, after you start getting a good texture to it, just go ahead and throw your bowl aside because you don't need that anymore. Now we're just going to start kneading it. It's like a loaf of bread. And pull it out, push forward, roll it into itself. You don't want to do that till it starts getting a spongy. See how it's starting to come back on itself? You want to do that till it gets to be like a spongy effect. Oh, even if I smell it right now, it smells so good. I know what I'm having for supper. See how it's starting to spring back? Okay, once you have that done, you want to go ahead and form your ham into whatever shape you want to shape it into. Now that's the uniqueness about your own laboratory. You can either put it into like a ham shape, like that, or you can kind of put it out a little bit longer like you would see the hams in the store. I kind of like it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. Grab a piece of parchment paper, lay it down on your counter, put your ham on the parchment paper. I don't know why I keep calling it a ham. Put your seitan down on a piece of parchment paper. What we're going to want to do is we're going to add a little bit of oil to our parchment paper. I just drizzle it around on the parchment paper, kind of just roll my seitan, round on it a little bit. Now I'm going to take a little bit of yellow mustard. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to rub it, just going to put it on there. Just going to rub it around on there. We're going to steam this for an hour. Go ahead and flip it over. Put a little more on this side. Now I like putting the mustard on there for the tangy sweet flavor. It'll add to the overall flavor. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to add a little bit of maple syrup to it. Rub that around a little bit. Flip it on over again. Add just a little bit more. Alright, once we have that done like that, we're going to develop and devise a way to roll this up inside of there, and then put it in some cheesecloth. Okay, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Got to figure out what the best way to do that is. I'm just going to take it like this. I'm going to fold it just like this. Now make sure you keep your shape as best as you possibly can. Squeeze it out if you want it oblong like I had it. Now I'm going to grab my piece of cheesecloth. I'm going to set it in my cheesecloth. Pull it up and wrap it around it. Pull the ends out. I'm going to twist the ends because as you're steaming your seitan, it's going to want to grow on you. Now I'm just going to put a knot in the end of my cheesecloth. Normally I'd use a butcher string, but I just don't have any on hand right now. So remember to make sure that you keep your shape. Wrap it up good and tight. So I'm going to pull my knot tight. And voila. So now we're going to get our steamer set up, and I'll show you that. Okay, I got my pan all set up here. Now I'm just going to take my little strainer. I'm going to put it inside here. And I'm going to fill up the bottom with about an inch of water. I don't want it to reach the top of the steamer. I want it to be right below it. Alright, we want to turn our stove. What we want to do is just put it on like a medium-high heat. And then as it gets going, we want to turn it down to about a medium heat. Okay, as we begin to start to boil a little bit, into the pot it goes. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to set it down inside there. So we're going to go ahead and cover our seitan. We're going to steam it for an hour. Okay, while we wait for our seitan to go ahead and steam for 1 hour, we're going to make our glaze. So we're going to put over top of our seitan vegan ham. So we're going to use a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now you can use coconut sugar or whatever you'd like to for a sweetener. Then we're going to use a 1/4 cup of pineapple juice. Then we're going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. Then we're going to use 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard. And the piece de la resistance, we're going to use 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And then we're gonna use 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Just gonna go ahead and pour it in there. Now you can just put this in a regular cup and mix it up if you want to. You don't need to put it in a blender or anything like that. I'm just choosing to go ahead and do it this way. And then once you got it mixed up, take it off and taste it. Oh buddy, yeah. Okay, we got our glaze mixed up. So one thing to keep in mind while you're steaming your seitan, make sure you keep water in the bottom of your pan. You don't want it to run out and burn. That wouldn't be good. Kitchen hint, don't run out of water. All right, there's our 1 hour of steaming. So we're gonna go ahead and turn the oven off. We're also gonna go ahead and set the oven for 350 degrees. We're gonna warm up the oven. Yeah, we'll just lift it out like that. Heat-proof glove, gotta love them. Okay, let's unwrap this bad boy and take a look at what it looks like. Well, I'll tell you, the smells that are ruminating in the house right now are incredible. There's our seitan, the vegan ham, all steamed up. Now, there's a couple ways you can go about doing this. At this point, you can either throw it in the oven for like 30 to 45 minutes and then open the oven and baste it with the glaze that we had made. Or you can make a little bit more faster time by first glazing it on the oven in a frying pan and then putting it inside the oven for about 15-20 minutes and then put some glaze on it there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna speed this up a little bit by putting it on the oven and then putting some more maple syrup and some oil and some mustard on there. I'm gonna kind of glaze it up right there and then I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven. Okay, I have my seitan ham in the frying pan. I'm adding some oil to it and some mustard and a little bit of maple syrup. We're gonna just go ahead and kind of caramelize this bad boy. Turn him over and apply the same to the other side. Put a little bit of mustard, some maple syrup. Now all we're looking to do is just kind of caramelize the outside. Take a little brush and we'll kind of pat it down a little bit, get the sides. Basically all I'm doing right now is just kind of finish glazing the top. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can start seeing the glaze form. So let's add a little bit more. Now it's cooking pretty nicely. I turned the heat up a little bit so I get a little bit more sizzle. And I got my oven heated up at 350. Kind of keep her flipped over here and there. Don't want it to burn. Oh, the smells are incredible. This is gonna go so good for supper tonight. Now the nice thing about being in your own laboratory, kitchen, whatever you want to call it, you can change up recipes or you can use the same one. Experiment around with different flavors. Let's see a nice caramelized, look at that. Can you see that caramelization on there? That's what we want right there. Oh, that looks good. Oh yeah. Okay, I have that caramelized down about as far as I want to go. So the next step in our process, we have our oven heated up at 350. Gonna want to turn the heat off here, pull the pan off. Now you're gonna want to grab a roasting pan. And then we'll just take and we'll go ahead and make the move from the frying pan to the pan that's going to go in our oven. Then we'll even go ahead and take some of the sauces that were in our pan. Go ahead and drizzle it on there, what's left, if anything is. Okay, so we're done with that process. You know what might be a good idea? To go ahead and put a little oil on the bottom of this so it don't stick to the bottom. Okay, next we want to get our glaze that we had made up. We're going to put this in the oven. We're going to cook it for like 15 to 20 minutes. And we're going to glaze it right now. And then right at the end, we'll probably put another glaze on top of it again, because we like the flavors. So as you can see, I'm just go ahead and I'm brushing it on there. Get it on the sides. Ooh, yeah, it tastes so good. Oh man, I can't wait to taste this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw this in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm about 10 minutes into this experiment. No, not really, I've done it before. I'm gonna pull this out of the oven. Oh my God, that smells so good. Oh, I don't know if you can see that or not. Oh. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip it. Get my safety glove on. Safety first, remember, don't get burned. Now I'm going to flip it over. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a little bit more of my glaze on there. Get it all around the sides. Make sure it's all coated really well. And then stick it back in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, after 25 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the oven. Oh yeah. So I don't know if you can see that or not really well. It's all nice and glazed. It's all cooked up and done. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove it from our pan that we had it cooking in the oven. And we're going to plate it up. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks so good. Let's see if we can get you in a little closer. All right, let's do a little cut and see what it looks like on the inside. Oh, it's cutting nice and tender. Oh, look at that. Look at that on the inside. Let's cut up another piece. Oh, it slices just awesome. And then to kind of help it out a little bit, we got some grilled pineapple. Don't that look just beautiful? Oh man, oh, and it tastes good too. So there it is in our laboratory. One vegan seitan ham. All done, looks so good, smells so good. So I'll be right back and we'll finish this video up. So there we go, guys. In the test lab, in the laboratory, we have created one seitan vegan ham that's absolutely delicious. Now I'm gonna give it a try. Oh my gosh. I don't know how much closer you can get. Sorry, I don't mean to speak with my mouth full, but if you had this in front of you, your mouth would be full too. Thanks for hanging with me. This was an awesome recipe. I highly recommend trying this. Leave me a comment down below if you do. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's over here in the corner. I believe it's over here. So hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss another video I put out. I'm trying to put out the healthiest videos that I can for you. I believe in you, I believe in your health, and I believe that we can have a humane world. So until I see you again, later.